What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a mint on card and mint in sealed box vehicle market update for the vintage Kenner line of products. And there were lots of good sales here to go through. As always, thanks to my Patreon supporters. Patreon.com/actionfiguregrader is where you can go to sign up to be a channel member. And I have lots of MiniRigs, both graded and ungraded, to go through in this batch of items. We don't talk about the MiniRigs enough, and there's some pretty good deals out there if you're looking for those to add to your collection. The first one we've got is a 12-back A Kenner R2D2 UKG 75, and this was the Taiwan R2D2. So a little tougher to find the Taiwan versus the Hong Kong, I imagine. And this one sold in an auction for a pretty great price, 591 pounds, which is 758 US dollars. For a 12-back A R2D2, that's a pretty good deal. Clear blister. It was punched with no price sticker, but pretty awesome deal, I feel like, for a 12-back A R2D2. You don't see them sell that cheap very often. The same seller also had a 12-back C Sand People graded AFA 75 plus, and that one sold in an auction for 721 pounds, which is 924 US dollars. That's probably more in line with market. That one seems to be kind of usually going for $1,000 to about $1,200 for an AFA 80. This one just missed an AFA 80. It was a 75 plus, 75, 80, 85 were the sub scores on that one, and that one also was a punched example with no price sticker. But I really thought that UKG 75 R2D2 Taiwan was a pretty good buy. Next up was an interesting one. This is a mint and sealed box BOP Bag. So these are those interesting BOP bags that came out in 1977. You can see the very 70s style clothes for the child there. Looks like she's getting ready to wind up and punch Darth Vader and make him one with the Force, so to speak. But that one sold for $300. There's also, I've seen like I think it's a clipper version of that. I assume there's also a Palatoy version for this BOP bag. And I think there's a Jawa one as well, if memory serves. Just going on memory, you don't see the Jawa ones very often, but the Darth Vader one is one that's pretty common. So that one, again, sold for $300 plus $20 shipping. I thought this was a beautiful example of the 21-back B Luke Skywalker in his X-Wing pilot gear. Blister had a little bit of rippling going on the right-hand side, but it was a pretty clean example. Again, punched with no price sticker, light scuffing in the upper right-hand corner by the Luke and Leia logo. And that one sold in an auction for $680 on 47 bids on July 9th. I would imagine this one would probably get a 75, just given the damage to the blister there. But probably about right, though, in terms of price. Here's the back of the card as well. You know, higher grade, you know, talking about 80s, 85s, probably in the $1,000 to $1,500 range, depending on the grade. But this one obviously had that just slight ripple effect on the blister and sold for $680. Here was a gorgeous Snaggletooth 21-back, unpunched, no price sticker. Pretty gorgeous example, except for the blister. Again, it did have a ding at the top of the blister, so that kept the price down just a little bit. $535 for that one. Again, AFA 80 examples and above can set you back close to $1,000, if not higher, depending on the grade. I would think for an AFA 80 unpunched like this, probably talking at least $1,000 would be my guess on that one. So that Snags took it home for $535. And then same seller also had a punched example of the Hammerhead on the 21-back with the Boba Fett offer. This one looked to be in a little bit better condition, maybe just some slight edge wear at the top of the card there. One little crease by the ages 4 and up, but similar condition, but maybe just slightly higher. I don't know. That one sold for $589 plus $12.45 shipping. Some ESB card backs. We've got an unpunched Lando 31 back. This is the debut card in pretty impeccable condition, and it did have, I would assume, a Woolworths price sticker there in the upper right-hand corner. It's got the W. I'm assuming that's Woolworths, but who knows. Crystal clear blister in fantastic condition. One little kind of ding on the right-hand side, but that one sold for $436. In an auction, 22 bids that ended on July 9th. I thought that was a great deal for the debut card for Lando. Same seller also had this gorgeous Leia Organa in her Bespin gown. Same price sticker, and again, it was unpunched. Really great shape overall, probably an overall AFA 80. That one sold for $482. So 2 really good deals, I feel like, on some early card backs for Leia and for Lando. Next up was a CAS 75 Plus Hoth Wampa mint and sealed box. That one sold in an auction for $610 on 29 bids. AFA 80s I've seen approach $1,000, so I feel like for a 75 plus CAS graded Wampa, that's not a bad price at all. And here's the box on that. And more on those in a little while as we get into some of the MiniRigs with a similar packaging. Here is a Return of the Jedi Skywalker AFA 80. So very high grade mint and sealed box Skywalker. Chicken Walker. This one sold for $1,358 on 25 bids. So big price on that one. But those are always notoriously pretty expensive when you get one mint and sealed box and very high grade. It did have a little small crack in the bottom left-hand corner there. So keep that in mind, that it did have some defects to the acrylic case. But that's a pretty gorgeous example of the Chicken Walker for $1,358. Next up, this one was ungraded, but it came in like a sliding acrylic case, and this is the Collector Series Landspeeder mint and sealed box. The box itself looked to be in really great shape overall. It was listed for $749. The best offer that was accepted was $600 US. So pretty good buy there for a mint and sealed box Collector Series Landspeeder. Next up was that TIE Interceptor. I believe I had this in a what to buy video. It looks like it had some water damage to the front of the box there. It was only an AFA 30, but it was still mint and sealed box. That one sold for $495 in an auction. Only one bid, but it was $495 plus $65 shipping. So you're talking about $560 before sales taxes on that. So that's a pretty high number for a low grade, but the TIE Interceptor in higher grade can set you back over $1,000. I think I found one that was an AFA 80 that sold for $1,400. So they can be pretty pricey. Now let's dig into the MiniRigs. As I promised at the beginning of the video, here was an Empire Strikes Back packaging for the radar laser cannon. Mint and sealed box MiniRig. This one sold for $170 plus $12 shipping. Here's the Return of the Jedi packaging for the tripod laser cannon. This one was ungraded but advertised as C7.5 condition. And that one only sold for $57. But there was one that was graded, I believe. Maybe not. It might have been a different item. But I thought we had a graded one. But usually graded for this Return of the Jedi packaging for the tripod, it doesn't set you back too high for high grade. It can be like $200 or so. Obviously, it's a little bit more to get the Empire Strikes Back packaging for that laser cannon. Here was an ungraded Desert Sail Skiff. This is one of the more expensive ones usually, but the box on this one was not in perfect shape. It had some edge wear to it. That one sold for $130. Next up is the Vehicle Maintenance Energizer. Very strange MiniRig with Chewbacca on the front there. That one sold for $81, mint and sealed box. That one did have some condition issues, some creasing and crunching on the box. But here's a graded one, UKG 75%, same item. That one sold for 112 pounds, which is 143 US dollars. I mean, you could probably call it about, what, $75 or $80 to grade one of these. So to get that one already graded for $143 isn't a terrible deal. Here's that tripod laser cannon. This one was graded AFA 85, and it was listed for $250. The best offer that was accepted was $225. So kind of right in line with what I talked about for a very high grade example, AFA 85 for that one. And again, $225 free shipping. Took that one home. Next up, this one's always pretty expensive, either in the Return of the Jedi packaging or the Empire Strikes Back packaging where it was first released, and that's the MTV7. It's got really great box art. I love all the Hoth Stormtroopers. You can picture these kind of walking off screen during the Battle of Hoth. And this one was a CAS 90 grade, so very high grade, and it sold for $415. I did see an AFA 80 ESB packaging that sold for $800. So those can be pretty pricey depending on which packaging, and again, the grade, of course, plays a factor in it. But I thought that was a really good price for a CAS 90 in the Return of the Jedi packaging. A couple of Droids items. Here is the Droids Side Gunner. Another very strange vehicle with very strange box art. And obviously the box was pretty tatty. That sold in an auction for $202.50 in high grade. I've seen these sell for as high as $650. But that one obviously had a lot of condition issues, but it was mint and sealed box for $202.50 plus $19 shipping. And then finally, this is one of the holy grails for those of you that collect some of the Droids line. This is the Awing Fighter mint and sealed box AFA 80. So very, very high grade. This sold over in Europe. It was listed for 3,290 euros, and the best offer that was accepted was 2,301 euros, which equates to about 2,600 US dollars. So to me, that's actually a really good price. There's one, I think, on Hakes right now that is in that huge auction batch. So we'll see where that one sells relative to this one. But I think that 2,600 US for an AFA 80 mint and sealed box Awing Fighter, that's a really good deal relative to where these were selling for last year. So anyway, just some more data for those of you collecting vehicles as well as mint on card action figures from the Vintage Kenner line. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll be back soon.